Hello. So, today this video will be about, as you could tell, a list of games that I'm afraid I don't think I'm debating on whether to play for gameplay footage, but this video will be proof enough that I own these games physically. I do. And this is one of them. As you can see Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for the original Nintendo Wii. If you're wondering, is this the front cover? Well, no, it's not. It's reversible, but it's not the front cover. This is the front cover. Well, it's technically the manual, but it's essentially the front cover, and I technically love this better as the cover in my opinion, but hey, to each their own. It's my own copy. I did what I want with it, to be fair, so. And I unironically did get this from the same store that technically it's not exactly, well, what I mean is the same store that used to sell this game as an exclusive over there, and you could only get it at that store and whatnot. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to mention that store, but anyway. But nevertheless, if you know this game, you know that particular store and place that it was only exclusively sold at. If you know this game, or at least its localization. But anyways, here's the disc, which I will say cleverly reflects the fact that the game's MacGuffin weapon literally has a hole in the disc, just like the weapon, just like the little circular hole that the weapon has for its respective symbols and all that, or kanji or whatever. If you've played this game, you know. Or if you just seen Chugga Conroy's Let's Play, I'm sorry I name dropped him, but if you watched his Let's Play of the game, you kind of already know what that is, I guess, by this point. But to those that actually did play this game, you'd also know that. But still. But either way, that's one. So, there you go. I wanted to quickly bring up this 3DS. Why? Well, for one, I own it, but in two, not just that, but I also own this particular game, or this version of the game, which is the Nintendo 3DS port, if I can get it here. The 3DS port. This is another one I own. Sure, it's really just a port of the Wii version. It's a port of the Wii game, but really just the same game, but on a 3DS. So, and you actually get to listen to the soundtrack. You get to look at models of all the characters in the game and all the armor sets and stuff. You actually get to see all that in this version of the game. Pretty decent, if I do say so myself. And one thing's for sure, I will always love this version because of it, but I'm not saying I love this better than the Wii version. No. I love them both equally. It's just a shame that all the bonus stuff is packed within this version, meanwhile the Switch definitive edition Switch version doesn't have all the stuff in it that this version provides. But still, just wanted to throw that out there. Oh, and if you're wondering, quick side note, this 3DS is indeed a Legend of Zelda Special Edition, as you could see. So yeah, I know, relish in all of its beautiful glory. But moving on. Speaking of Legend of Zelda, here's all the Legend of Zelda games I own. Physically, I own this one. I own this one. I own this one. And this one. Although technically a friend lended it to me, so since I really didn't own this one at first. My friend lended it to me back in high school, and yeah, we were good friends, needless to say, but yeah, still, there you go. And here is what these copies look like, in case you're wondering. That's Wind Waker HD. Yeah, looks pretty good, doesn't it? There's Phantom Hourglass. Yeah, ignore Final Fantasy IV. I just put that there because there's a Game Boy Advance slot there. But yeah, there's Phantom Hourglass. I might replace it with a Legend of Zelda Game Boy Advance game if I actually do find one, but if I don't, oh well, Final Fantasy IV is there to stay. Well, at least until then, anyway. Anyways, Ocarina of Time. Shall we open it up and see? Well, let's find out. And voila! Yep, there's the cartridge for Ocarina of Time. There you go. Granted, it was the original Nintendo 64 version and not the 3DS version. Or the 3DS version, not the original Nintendo 64 version, excuse me. And then here's A Link Between Worlds. There you go, that's what that looks like. But if the Legend of Zelda series doesn't suit your fancy, well then what about the Metroid series? Well, here it is. All, well, not all three of them per se, but I have 3 out of how many again? Seriously, there's a lot of them. But anyways, yeah, so that's Metroid Prime Hunters and Metroid Samus Returns. And if those 2 weren't enough, here's Metroid Prime 3. Yep. Uh-huh. Here it is. Holy shit, here's the disc. There you go. And there's the manual. But overall, yeah, those are just a few examples of Nintendo games I actually do physically own as proof. And here is that. But still. And if that wasn't enough, here's Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS. And then here's Pokemon Heart Gold. But if that wasn't enough either, here's Pokemon Moon. The only Pokemon game I own physically complete in box. And here's the cartridge. Here you go. On to the next one, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I know. I do own this one physically through Nintendo Selects, but still, sue me. And here's the disc for that. Yeah. So there you go. Just, well, that's mostly all the ones I physically own. Or at least that's what I would think had it not been for the ones I would show. I guess I'll show those later. But if that wasn't enough, here's Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Oh my god! At least here's the manual. I lost the case to it. I don't know what happened to it, but I lost it. But here's the manual. And the disc. And here's its predecessor, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which, unlike Smash 4, I'll give Brawl this. It looks like a whole entire Smash Ball logo, or whatever, but with all the characters in it. So that's pretty cool, right? And just in case that wasn't enough, here's Twilight Princess, only the disc. I was cheated out of the case for it. You know that certain store does it. You know a certain store is bad when you're cheated out of the box art or the case or whatever. But, hey, I guess the disc is better than nothing, so here it is, all its shiny golden glory. But yeah, that's the first Nintendo Wii Legend of Zelda game I ever owned. Or at least the first one in the system that was released. But it also had a Nintendo GameCube version, so in case you didn't like motion controls, but here you go. So that was proof that I do own these games physically, in case everyone thinks that I emulated them. And while I have been using emulators lately, no, for a lot of the games I showed as examples, no. In this case, no. I do physically own some of them. I do not necessarily, or have not necessarily emulated every single Nintendo title, at least the ones I physically owned, as proof of this video will show. So yeah, there you go. That's been this video to kind of prove that I do own literally these in their entirety. And as proof of that, that's literally what this is. That's pretty much what this is. So there you go. In case anyone was wondering, did I ever emulate half of these on consoles that are modded or jailbroken or whatever? No. No. Well, anyways. See you all. Peace, and see you all in the brighter later. I guess. Hopefully.